Welcome to the Connected Enterprise Podcast. This is Carl Lewis, your host from Vision 33. And today, my guest is Craig Stockmal from, Craig, what do we call her? You'll call you guys FocusPoint. That's the application, right?
Yeah, Carl, thank you. We brand ourselves FocusPoint because that's how everybody knows us in the SAP Business One marketplace. Everybody knows FocusPoint is a solution. So that's how we branded ourselves.
Good. Because I know sometimes I hear you guys, it's like focused impressions, but it seems like over the last few years, FocusPoint has been, at the forefront.
Yeah, instead of the company name, we're really talking about the solution name. And so that's how we kind of identify ourselves.
Well, good. Well, Craig, tell us a little bit about yourself and your kind of personal journey to get where you are today, and tell us about FocusPoint, how that came about and what you guys are doing today.
Well, we're FocusPoint is, as you know, is dedicated to SAP Business One in the B2B space. And I have been in B2B e-commerce throughout my life, mainly with Fortune 500 companies, and found a real need for B2B e-commerce. And when we built a company in 2014, and early in our time going to market, we did some integrations with SAP. And we found and understood the difficulty and the long process required for integration. And so we continued to build upon our knowledge and our SAP resources, and decided that the SAP marketplace was a great marketplace to be exclusive focused on, because the partners have such great relationships in this marketplace. So as we work with the partners in the SAP ecosystem, we have access to a great customer base that could utilize our solution. So we found it a great fit, and it's continued to evolve, and we've really built our IP over the last 7 years in this market.
Craig, when a lot of just kind of everyday folks think about e-commerce, they think about, I'm doing business with Amazon, and it's really kind of what we refer to as, business to customer, B2C. But you really focus on B2B. What's the big difference between the two?
Well, with B2B, there's so much more, because the major difference is in the Amazon, you're searching for a product in the least amount of clicks and you're checking out. In B2B, you're really providing a customer experience specific to their business partner relationship with the customer. So you're providing a self-service portal where they can manage documents, their invoices, their quotes, deliveries, credit memos, service requests, and being able to provide the business partner with a targeted catalog with their assigned pricing just assigned to them, and all the workflows that go along with that business relationship.
The typical customer gets the same price at Amazon as the next guy that logs in, as the next guy that logs in, as the next guy that logs in. But this is unique to this individual business that you're doing business with. Maybe you have a contract for pricing and things like that. All of that's reflected. Yep. In this type of business model. It's interesting. There are scores of businesses, scores of them, that sell to distributors, wholesalers, other distributors, manufacturing companies, but there's still a large portion of them that don't really have a B2B website. Why are they slow to adapt to the technology?
Previously, many businesses really engage with their customers in a variety of different ways: external sales, inside sales, customer service, and there was all different ways of ordering and providing information to the customer base. And then beginning in early 2000, we really, with the pandemic, it really changed to a type of virtual customer engagement evolution. And more automation and self-service really had to be offered to mitigate the risk of not being able to deal with customers directly in a face-to-face environment. So you really see the growth of B2B over the last 2 or 3 years, where it's become really the customer service of the organization.
It's interesting. I think I heard, it's probably about a year ago, I read that still at least 25% of all, call them SMB businesses, small, medium businesses, don't actually have an e-commerce website. Now, some of them actually may not need one for various reasons, but 25% of companies still not having an e-commerce website, that just blows me away, that in our day and age, we have these folks that are still trying to do it the way they've always done it?
Yeah, I think it's much easier to get into an e-commerce solution when you're into the B2C model for the reasons that you mentioned before, with a specific set of products, specific set of discounts and delivery. But when you get into business to business, as you know, there's complex workflows.
Yep.
And when you have complex workflows, the time to market, it takes a while, and there's high costs and customization required to provide those workflows to your customer base to really engage with them. And that's what we're trying to do in a B2B model. We're trying to help our customers engage fully with their customers. And it's a never-ending journey. The B2B implementation is really never done because we want to continue to help navigate and provide a journey for our customers to further engage with their customers in every way along this path.
Yeah. So you mentioned it a little bit, but I'm sure you found that the pandemic had an impact on, people's desire, how fast they wanted to move, all of those things. What was it like for you guys to address that requirement that's been out there?
No, we certainly had an influx of requests to be able to provide initially a customer portal where somebody can really look at their whole history and the whole relationship, but then really evolving into the e-commerce side of the things and be able to use artificial intelligence to instruct the customers what products that would be suitable for them based on their pricing, terms, relationships, so they can continue to grow this business and engage with them deeply. So it's really become, the B2B portal has really become the face of customer service.
Oh, I'm just thinking, as you guys, you've kind of come through it now. We're sort of on the other side of it for the most part, but are you seeing that demand wane, or is it still hanging up there just because people are saying, I got to do this before the next something or other comes along?
No, we're seeing it increase. We're seeing a multi-phased e-commerce journey and a constant, I would say, improvement in the functionality and business processes that they can offer their customers, because the engagement is much more than products. It's hard to keep customers without making it easy for them to do business with you. And I think everyone is in the same mode where they're trying to keep their customers by making it easy to do business with them, because they know customers have a choice.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's hard to lose a customer if you do make it easy to do business. Yeah. They're predisposed not to making changes if you make it very easy to do business.
Yeah. You mentioned that, it's kind of like some of these projects are never really done because, maybe you acquire a new customer and they ask you to do something completely different. Exactly. And so you have to make changes to your software and your processes that the software emulates. I've found in my career that sometimes executives want to be able to say, well, we did that project and now we don't have to do it anymore. Do you find that there's, a recognition at this point that, this is really customer facing, and it's just like with employees, you would have to do training, right, to install a new process, but with a website, you're going to have to do that too. Do you find that they get that?
I think they realize that the customer journey is a corporate initiative now, and they're going to constantly try to improve the ability to attract new customers and retain those customers for life. And providing more of a 360-degree customer profile, customer experience is really mandatory to do business. And especially in the B2B space, where it's still an 80-20 principle, where 80% of your revenue is driven from the top 20% of your customers. And it's critical that you provide them all the tools necessary to engage with you and get the information that they desire.
You mentioned that, you guys decided to really be focused on SAP Business One and that marketplace. Why did you do that? Well,
the feedback that we had from the partners and the customers in this space was that e-commerce in the business-to-business space was very costly. The integration process sometimes was more costly than the ERP. The time to market was very, very costly. And the constant changes and costs that they didn't know was on the horizon every time that they wanted to upgrade version of SAP required integration costs as well. So what we did was we created our integration exclusive with this marketplace to take the integration cost off the table and continue with a configuration process so that we give them a tool that they can constantly configure to meet their business requirements and grow with. So when you take that bubble and that cost out, it provides great value to this marketplace.
Yeah. So by selecting a larger marketplace like this, you were able to create kind of a template, if you will, that sort of fit all of those businesses rather than having to do, one-offs all the time.
Yeah, I think the solutions in the marketplace all offer connection of data, which is pretty easy to go to any ERP back and forth with data. But when you get into business to business, you get into business processes, and they're very different from business partner to business partner. So the value is being able to offer an integration that addresses business processes and has the flexibility to continue to be configured as the business journey changes.
So over the last year or so, FocusPoint made the decision to start integrating SAP Business One and FocusPoint using Vision 33's new Saltbox iPaaS platform. What made you guys make that decision? What kind of benefits are in it to you guys, and how is it going to benefit future clients?
Well, expanding our integration options is one of our strategic goals, number one, and we never stop improving FocusPoint. And the biggest advantage to clients with FocusPoint leveraging Saltbox is that we can replicate our integration workflows faster, providing even shorter implementation times. And Saltbox is playing a key role in data transformations. We want to be part of that success and journey. And it also, as we align FocusPoint with Saltbox, it offers easy integrations into other systems that customers are using, creating new opportunities for both Saltbox and FocusPoint.
Mm-hmm. It sounds good. I think when I was talking to Charles, he said to some degree, it's almost cut implementation time in half.
Exactly. Our intention when we onboard a new customer or transition a new customer to Saltbox is we want to get the customer up and running in a 2-month time frame. And that's what we really want to do. And then continue with a multi-phased approach as their B2B requirements continue to evolve and they want to continue to offer more self-service model to their customers. Yeah. So a Saltbox is just a wonderful tool for us to expand our breadth and reach and offer more value.
If memory serves me right, Craig, you guys have over 300 SAP Business One customers running FocusPoint today.
Correct.
And are they global, all over the place?
Yes, they're global. In fact, we just got our first customer in Asia. So that was really the only area that we hadn't participated in, and we just got our first customer in Asia. So throughout North, South America, Europe, we've been working with some of the largest SAP customers. And I always say some of our best customers are some of the most knowledgeable customers in the SAP Business One space, because they know the time to market, they know the difficulty of integration, it impacts their time to market, and they know the additional costs that can be incurred as their business changes. So when they see the value of the integration with FocusPoint, it's pretty an easy sell for us and provides an easy pathway for them to increase their B2B exposure.
There is competition. I mean, there are other, e-commerce platforms out there in the Business One space, but you guys have definitely made a huge impact. And, I would just say, the quality of your application is beyond what we've experienced with others. And the customers we have are much more satisfied. Most of them are prior to the Saltbox change that you've made in the last year. Have you talked about what kind of a program or to put in place to migrate or give the opportunity to folks to move to the Saltbox platform?
Well, I think a really good time and a really good opportunity that makes it really effortless is when an existing customer is upgrading, say, from 9.3 to 10.0, or as their journey and their SAP upgrades continue, because that integration process can be done simultaneously and really transparently and without cost. And I think that is a real time for someone to really think about, does my integration provide me a customer journey for the future? And if it doesn't, I think it's time to look at something where you can continue to expose workflows and business process to your customers to further engage them. For example, we have a customer, CPM Corporation, who's one of the larger global SAP Business One customers. And they have 21 SAP databases. They're on 4 continents. They're a very large global company. And they started ordering equipment from us. And then they started expanding their B2B footprint and offering their customers service requests through FocusPoint. And now they can track those service requests and track the parts to replace the equipment that they have. So it becomes a complete 360-degree customer view of their relationship with CPM. And that's kind of like a model for what we envision for many customers, whether they're in the rental market and we can expose rental functionality to customers, or they're in the equipment market or the electronics marketplace. We want to be able to show anything that our customers have created in SAP to serve their marketplace. We want to make it easy for them to expose to their customers.
I think one of the other benefits you talked about also was that there could be other applications that going forward they want to integrate with their Business One application, and therefore with e-commerce as well. Like maybe HubSpot or Salesforce or some other CRM system, and to have everything kind of talking to one another in a better way. And there are lots of kind of small solutions that companies use that are unique to their industry that aren't really they're just sort of standalone. They can't live without it, but it's not integrated into anything. And it gives them an opportunity to pull all of that together and everything using the same integration platform, as opposed to 4, 5, or 6 separate integrations that all have to be maintained. If you could move that all to one, that would be far better.
Yeah, and think about the benefit of the customer. They have Saltbox and they have access to all these different tools for easy path to integration. And then they really can focus on their customer journey, as opposed to the cost and time associated with all the integration required to provide those tools on that journey.
Craig, do you anticipate that your customers that deploy with the Saltbox integration platform, will they be able to sort of maintenance some things themselves and make some changes in their own system, not necessarily being dependent completely on FocusPoint staff?
Well, part of our solution is to offer the customers a self-service model. So part of our onboarding is 8 hours of training on our configuration module in FocusPoint. So they can choose to continue to manage that configuration module and continue to deploy and change configuration by business partners, by customers to meet the business requirements. So our whole model is a self-service model. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits that we offer, that they do not have to come to us and wait for somebody to configure it for them. They can do it on their own. And many of our customers have a lot of SAP Business One expertise. So we can do it for them, or they can do it on their own.
That's great. The other thing I think, you guys offer that's a big benefit is a lot of e-commerce companies know their e-commerce product really well. They're working with a lot of different ERP applications, and they don't know any of them very well. But you guys actually have Business One experts basically on staff. And so it gives you a big push up, in terms of dealing with Business One customers. You know what they're talking about when they say business partner or a marketing document. It's not code, it's the same language that you guys speak.
Yeah, that's really important for us when we demo to our customers. We really want to speak their language and be respectful that they've made a choice with SAP Business One. And SAP is the source of truth. And we want to show FocusPoint. Everyone in the marketplace pretty much has the same features, functionality in the front end, but we want to show FocusPoint from the back end, from SAP, which they've invested in, forward, and show them how it's a source of truth and it just populates. And FocusPoint is nothing really more than the customer experience for SAP Business One that they choose to deploy to their customers.
Right, right. Well, hey, this has been fascinating, and it's been fun to watch you guys grow over the past few years, and getting to know you guys better through the channel. Do hope that we'll get to touch base again down the road here, face to face, maybe this fall. We'll see. But till then, thanks for spending time with me today.
Thank you so much. We're very, very excited about Saltbox expanding globally as a partner with Vision.
we're excited about working with you guys too. So it's a kind of one of the early OEM, partners that we have, and it's important to us for sure.
Thank you, Carl. I'm always honored to spend time with you and always available for you guys.
Thanks, Greg, and thanks everyone else. Come back and listen to us again on the Connected Enterprise podcast. And until then, stay connected.